It's Friday, and we hopefully will have lots of interesting things that will happen from the live stream, or knowledge and information and stuff happening. Of course, keep locked to the channel over the weekend as we're going to go over everything that's announced from the live stream, and of course, doing the live stream reaction. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the MCN for Friday. So, as we said a moment ago, today is going to be the live stream. There's going to hopefully be Banquet reveals. Oh, wait, yes, there will be, and the final Banquet reveals. I'm still on the fence with a lot of the last two options that could be presented for us. Whether it is going to be one of those mutants that needs a buff, whether or not it's going to be a cosmic that needs a buff, whether or not it's going to be a cosmic that could be upgraded to a 7-star without any kind of changes, whether or not it's going to be a mutant upgraded to any without any changes required, because that's what we're left with at the moment. One rework. One champion being upgraded with no kind of changes whatsoever. What do you think it's going to be? And it's going to be exciting. We'll see what that is later on in the live stream. Next up, and something that I think is important to get a bit of support around, is that Marvel Contest of Champions is up for 2 awards at the Pocket Gamer Awards. So first of all, they're up for Best Game We're Still Playing, and of course there are various different ones in the categories. Some pretty big names like Brawl Stars is a pretty big name still. State of Survival, kind of. I think I did a sponsorship for them ages ago. I suppose Coin Master. But yeah, Marvel Contest of Champions is up there. The one that I think is more important, and why I'm kind of like more shouting this out, and I think that if you can get around this, voting is for free, but it is best community. So best community for this. I think that, like, I'm sure people will say, well, this will be just for Command, but this is for us, really. This awards has been going like for ages, but it just would be good if us as a community could win it. And it's up there. I mean, it's up against Pokemon Go, which means it's really difficult to kind of like fight against that. And Monopoly Go, which again is quite big in itself. Star Trek Fleet Command. There are some other ones as well. Surprising that Jurassic World Alive. I played that for a little while back several years ago. It was all right, but MCOC's been going longer. So if you can go and check out some of the links and vote for Marvel Contest Champions for Best Community, please do it. Right. To try and see if we can actually win this award. Okay, on to final reminders time, and that is for the Regal Ravagers event, the Cyberweek, or 2 weekly deals that have been out at the moment. Last chance to get your market points in order to get yourself the free 7-star, which I missed out on. Very disappointed in that, but it is what it is. We move on. And I missed out on the +6. No, did I? Yeah, I missed out on the +6, and also I think a +2 that I think I missed out on, or maybe I actually missed out on 2, but whatever. It is what it is. No skin off my nose. But look, get yourself involved. I know some people are waiting for their purchase. I don't know the time frame. Is it 7 p.m. UK time, which I think is like 11 a.m. PST time? The crucial thing about this is that decisions might have to be made in amongst the live stream going live. So once you're learning about what is going to happen, you're going to be like, oh, well, I'm going to save all my money in units for what will be the Banquet event, because I know what's going to be in that. That doesn't guarantee like that. I'd be very cautious on that one, but you can do that. You watch the time frame trickle down and then make a decision, but I don't think it's going to work out like that. There may be like a swing of 1 hour to make that decision at the point of this live stream ending, to the point where decisions are going to be made. The crucial thing about this is that today is the final day to make your decision about your Royal Horde bundle, builder bundle. And I've already chosen, I already planned that I was going to do this because I wanted to get more rank for 7-stars, and especially to build up to a new Alliance War season, and especially to just position my roster in a stronger prestige and as well Battlegrounds deck for the future. I'm still working on a lot of stuff right now for that one, but it's gonna, like anything in life, it takes time, and there's other things going on in my life. But look, this is your final day to use this, so make sure to go and spend your tokens, and obviously mop up on this event before it ends, because I know some people will miss out on some stuff, so make sure to mop up on that. Right, now onto Minion Crystal Count. So one thing that I've definitely learned is that with the stuff that went on for me personally over the last month, I definitely couldn't have done anything with the last season of Battlegrounds. And that cost me, as things do. You know, you have to be engaged with the game, but obviously you have to be engaged this time because there's that stellar, was it kind of like piece of Stellar Forge piece of Star Lord. So it's important to get involved with it. But from a minion crystal count, if you are not on, so not on 34, I think it is. If it's 34, or is it? No, it's 31. If you're on 31, I think you're going to be, if you're not on 31, you're going to be screwed. Why? Well, as many people have kind of like said, if you're on 35, that's kind of, I think that's the working number you should be on, right? If you're on 35, perfect. You've been engaged with everything, or you've had the time for everything to do to get that 7-star stealth suit Spider-Man. But like as I said, I've had personal stuff on, haven't been able to give the extra time for it for obvious reasons. But I am still at least happy to get, I will at least get the Founders War rank up gem. And that's probably the most important thing, is like if I'm not able to get the 7-star, which I really would have liked to have got, but I'll settle for some of the other stuff as well. Just to point out the importance of where you are right now, or where you need to be right now, here's a little scenario, okay? So if the last remaining things that you can claim points from will be the Battleground season right now, but you've also got the upcoming December events, which has 12 crystals in, plus the December event, plus the one from the store which hasn't gone live. And yeah, if you're on 34 crystals, then at least you can do this plus 34. There you go. You got a 1 remainder, but you had like, there's no point to the 1 remainder. The 1 remainder would be like, oh, I could miss out on, I don't know, buying from the store. Actually, no, I think it's 4 more points. He's like, oh, I don't have to do the December events, or the kind of like adaptive difficulty. But it's like, there's loads of rewards, so why would you miss it off? Command made it very clever in the way that kind of set it up, that you didn't, if you missed off stuff, you were basically just kind of saying goodbye to the 7-star for those that could get the 7-star. Either way, like I said, I'll take what I can take, and I'm happy to get some of the other gems, because there are some actually decent Saga champions that I'm interested in saving materials on and using some of the gems for. So I am glad that Kabam had those other things in as well, so it didn't feel like a complete loss overall. Just quickly onto that Banquet event thing, and just kind of like close us out with the bit kind of like ending story. I did mention in the story on Wednesday about, okay, so there's superior Banquet crystals for you to farm for free. Downside is you have to be in part of an alliance, but obviously good if you are a regular alliance-based participation type person. But because this solo, and I did say, because the solo event hasn't gone live yet, which you can see in game, there's no Alliance Wars solo event, especially under Alliance, there's nothing there. It means that we can't get an understanding of what's in the superior Banquet crystals, because you'd be like, well, it should be in there, shouldn't it? Well, it's not. Hopefully we can see that somewhere soon, but just judging by where the, what is it, season kicks off at December 17th, it probably means that this is going to be when you'll start seeing some information around the solo event, number 1. But number 2, what's in the superior Banquet crystal, if you were curious, because then theoretically it would go into the milestone. But it'd be kind of weird if, as I said before, like if you get the crystal early, why would you open it up? Because it's got points. So it's like pre-farming it to then hoard it, to then be able to, yeah, open it once the event goes live on the 19th. But we'll find out more about that, I can imagine, soon. And the final story I want to end with is there are some people in the community that do believe some of these things, and this is the joy of what seems to be created using AI, right? I've seen this like about going through a few social groups where people are convinced that this is or could be Weapon H coming into MCOC. The answer quickly is no. Like, I like the character of Weapon H. I mean, you're probably kind of, first of all, like, yeah, the sizing doesn't really make sense and look correct on the kind of like what Weapon H would be, a Hulk-based character, and of course the sizing. I like Weapon H as a character. I would like to see it in MCC in some stage, but there was like a lot of people that really did believe this to be true. This kind of like design of Weapon H. I do think it's like it's created using AI, especially with some of the symbols. The way that they are created does look AI orientated. But the background does look like it could be something straight out of Marvel Contest of Champions, but that, and obviously that's one thing. Of course, yeah, the icon doesn't exactly look correct, and some of the other imagery doesn't exactly look kind of correct in any kind of way. Of course, just make sure to look when kind of this stuff comes up, because a lot of people did actually think that this was champion confirmed coming into the game. Sizing is another important thing. Weapon H is, yeah, just a bit too small for against like what is Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer off that board would probably be at a kind of a relatively similar height. Not completely, but what I'm talking about is like 6'5" to 7 foot, and of course, like we're expecting about 8+ foot for Weapon H, maybe a bit more than that. But in any case, what are your thoughts when seeing stuff like this? Do you believe it straight away? And are you surprised? I'm not surprised that people in the community do jump to conclusions, as this is thinking that this is going to be a champion coming into the game. But and also, would you like Weapon H being put into game? Thoughts in the comments. Thanks very much for watching. And that's been the show for today. We'll see you over the weekend for various coverages of Marvel Contest of Champions announcements for December. Have a lovely day, everybody. See you soon. Bye.